It's my great pleasure as Governor-General and as patron of GROW to introduce this short video. Shortly, you'll see how the GROW program works and hear from members or growers about their personal stories of recovery. Most importantly, by watching this short video, you're helping to break down the stigma around mental illness.
I'm a brand new person. I'm not paranoid anymore, and I'm not really angry anymore. I really like people nowadays, and I owe it to this great program.
1 in 5 Australians experiences a mental health issue in their lifetime. It's a problem that doesn't discriminate. It affects people right across society, men and women of all ages, cultural backgrounds, and from all parts of Australia. That means there's a good chance we all know someone who is suffering.
I felt like I was worthless, because you can't have worked the streets and have been in prison and done all those things and have a very good self-concept. I knew I was a bad girl. I grew up in a home without ever knowing that I'd been adopted, and I had a mother who was very, very aggressive, and I can remember when I was 2 years old, I wasn't allowed to speak to her in the street, and if I did, she would get my skin and twist it and pull it. And it was such a nasty thing to do to a little child. So I grew up with a lot of hatred and anger and seriously wanting to murder my mother. How bad did it get? I thought prison was bad, but the worst part was sleeping in Hyde Park and it being so cold that I had to wrap my baby in newspapers. And I had thrown her into walls and I'd done all sorts of things, not because I wanted to throw her, but because I was so violent and I would get so head up that I'd throw whatever was in my hand, which of course distressed me even more because I didn't have control. And that's one of the things I learnt through GROW, was how to control my behaviour and take responsibility for it.
Thanks for sharing, Claire. It takes a lot of courage to change and to grow.
I grew up in a household where my father used to talk to himself. I developed distressing, disturbing voices and demons, which was eventually admitted to hospital and was given the diagnosis by about 25 that I was schizophrenic. But to get on with life, without my doctors, without my medication, and without GROW, I wouldn't be here today.
Well done.
In a community, we share things with each other and we hold each other dear and we support each other in whatever way we can. And that's really one of the things that sets GROW apart.
Breaking down the stigma starts with us, the ones that have broken down, that have been diagnosed with a mental illness.
I was just too afraid to tell people that I had a mental illness. A lot of employers are more sympathetic now and some aren't. I mean, it's changing.
Out there outside of this group, I was being told just manage your illness and get on with taking your medication, but I wanted to grow beyond that. I didn't want to stay sick.
And if you live with that sort of stigma on you, you'd never have hope.
It was only when I came to GROW that I was told that there was hope, and that there was a program. It has been wonderful in that now I have the confidence to speak in a group of people, which is something I never would have even thought about doing before.
GROW changed my life dramatically. I'd become quite suicidal, and for me, if I hadn't come across GROW, I'm not sure I would be here still. Instead of fear now, I have confidence and courage and acceptance.